Hey guys, it's Jamie from Siouxland Libraries, and today we're doing a Kids Discover all about space. Stay tuned. So like we said, today we're going to talk all about space. So some of the supplies that you're going to need for our activity today are you're going to need a bowl, some kind of a garbage bag or a large bag. I've got a tray for overflow. You don't necessarily need it, but it's just nice to have. Got a spoon, water, just got some dirt, like some potting soil that I found outside. We've got some corn syrup. I've got some Windex or some kind of a cleaning supply. Make sure you ask permission to grab that though. And then our other supply that you also need to make sure you get permission for is dry ice. So we have to be very careful when handling dry ice. It's very cold. We never want to touch it with our bare skin. So we also have gloves. And these are nice heavy duty gloves to protect my skin when I start handling that. So what do we need all these supplies for? What are we gonna do? Let me tell you, we are going to talk about comets. So what is a comet? Well, a comet is like a cosmic snowball that's made up of rock and dust and gas, all these things, and it's flying around up in space and orbiting the sun. What happens when it starts to get too close to the sun is all those things that make up that big cosmic snowball start to burn up. And as it's moving and they're burning up, we get this really beautiful tail, almost like a little, like a streak in the sky, which is really cool. So before we make our own comet, I wanted to show you guys a couple really special, really famous comets. And one of them is Halley's Comet. And Halley's Comet is a comet that I grew up knowing about. I'm sure a lot of other people know about. It's one that comes around every about 75 to 76 years. Last time it was here was 1986, and it's just really cool. Look it up. We've got tons of books about comets here at the library. Another one is the Shoemaker-Levy 9. Not only does this comet have a really cool name, but it's really unique because it started to get too close to the planet Jupiter, and then it got pulled in by Jupiter's gravity, which caused that comet to then split into 21 different pieces and crash into the surface of Jupiter, which scientists were able to watch with telescopes. Like, how cool is that? So make sure you check out NASA so you can see some of that really cool footage and pictures. Another one that is really neat is the Neowise Comet. So what's special about the Neowise Comet is it just happened in July of 2020. You may have seen it up in the night sky, which is really cool. Again, we've got lots of books on comets. Make sure you come to the library, look up some books. We're happy to help. But now we know a little about what a comet is. Let's make one. All right, so now that we know what a comet is, let's make one. So again, we have all of our supplies here. We have our bowl and our bag, which is where we're gonna put everything together to kind of mix it up to get that comet cooking. So to start, we're gonna add just a little bit of water. So I'm gonna pour that in here. Next, we're gonna add a little bit of this dirt. So what we've been adding so far, the water represents water that can be found in the outer parts of our solar system that kind of make up the ice that's in that comet. The dirt could represent different dust or rock particles that are in that comet as well. Next, we're gonna add a little bit of syrup, which represents organic materials that can be found in that comet. And organic materials are what makes up life. So we gotta have that in there. Next, we're gonna add a little bit of our cleaning material. So we've got some Windex here that's got some ammonia in it. I'm gonna spray some of that in there. And again, ask permission before you just grab this. That ammonia represents different gas that could be found up in our comet. I'm gonna give this a little bit of a stir, just kind of get everything mixed in there before we add our last ingredient, our dry ice. And remember, we talked about how our dry ice is very cold, so we have to be really safe. And I've got my really thick gloves here to protect my skin because dry ice is so cold it could burn me. And I'm just gonna get a little bit of a handful here and we're gonna drop it in our bag. So as I start to handle this dry ice and put it in the bag, we might see something happening. There it is. A little bit of this gas coming out. That's perfectly fine. We want that. But again, don't touch it. I'm gonna keep stirring, keep mixing, because I want to get all of those pieces in our comet mixed together and have them start to bind. You're seeing some really cool effects here with all this gas. What's happening is as the dry ice came into contact with the water and our cleaning solution, it started to sublimate, which is a really cool term, which just means it went from a solid straight to a gas, which looks awesome. So we're gonna lift up, love it. And I'm gonna start to squeeze the bag here. I don't wanna seal it shut because all of that gas needs somewhere to go. And if I close our bag up too tight, then, whoops, good thing we have our bowl and our tray. If I squeeze things up too tight, then our bag could end up popping and kind of breaking in front of me, which we don't want. How cool is that? Can you guys hear that? So that sound you hear is all of the gas trying to escape from our carbon dioxide, and it's moving around the water in the bag, which sounds really cool. So I think I'm just making a mess. Our comet is starting to come together. Let's check it out. So here is our comet. All right, so, oh, it broke into two little comets. Check that out. So now it's almost like I have one for each hand. So we have our two little comets here. And you can see the dirt on there, the soil. You can see a little bit of that dry ice peeking through. You can see how they kind of broke apart right there. You can see maybe some of the gas coming off, which represents just like the tail that you might have seen in the pictures earlier. So if we kind of move it around, you see the gas, I don't know. But yeah, these are our comets. They're pretty simple to make, pretty easy, but they do require a couple supplies that you want to make sure you ask permission to use, like our dry ice and our cleaning supplies. Otherwise, thanks for watching, you guys. Thanks for listening, and come to the library and find some cool books on comets. See you guys.